Our programs are
To greet someone in Caucasia, one may say "Здравствуйте," which means hello in Russian, one of the Republic's official languages. I'm Sergey. The kind-hearted Caucasian people pray alongside you for a vegan, peaceful world every day. In today's episode, we will travel to the ancient city of Kaesong in the northern part of Korea for part 1 of a 2-part series entitled Memoirs of Goryeo, Historic Monuments in Kaesong. The country's name Korea originates from Goryeo, a Korean dynasty which unified the Korean peninsula in 918 and ruled until 1392. The capital of Goryeo was Kaesong, which was also the hometown of Taesung, the founder of the Goryeo dynasty. Located 58 kilometers or 36 miles from Seoul, Kaesong became the capital and center of Korean culture for 500 years and remained famous for trading and commerce for 1,000 years. During the Goryeo dynasty, Buddhism was worshipped as the state religion. This period is known as the Golden Age of Korean Buddhism. Shortly after becoming king and founding Goryeo, Taesung established 10 temples in Kaesong. According to records, Kaesong was a metropolis with a population of 100,000 households and over 300 temples, and 1/3 of Goryeo's total population were monks. Many nobles and princes became monks. In addition, a greatly respected, virtuous, and enlightened monk called a national preceptor served as the king's advisor. The citizens of Kaesong and the royal family often held events in which the monks were served meals. It is said that the number of monks attending royal ceremonies was usually around 10,000. Under the influence of benevolent Buddhism, the kings of Goryeo issued several bans on the slaughter of cattle people, and those who violated the bans were strictly admonished with punishment for murder. Shu Jing, an envoy from the Song dynasty who visited Goryeo in 1123, wrote that Korean people are very merciful in politics, respect Buddha, and avoid killing. According to his book, Xuan Hu Feng Shu Gao Li Tu Qing, Goryeo people did not like meat. Their plant-based dishes were highly developed and kept evolving. Moreover, when ancestral rites were held, they did not place offerings of fish people or animal people, but instead served cookies with fried flour. The largest national events celebrated by the gentle Korean people were the Lantern Festival on the 15th of January and the Bagwanhui on the 15th of November. The Lantern Festival is a day to light a lamp, symbolizing the wisdom of the Buddha, and continues to be celebrated to this day. Free tea and sweets were provided, and the king and all the people honored the Buddha's merits with music and dance, and prayed for peace in their nation. While the Lantern Festival was held all over the country, Bagwanhui was the nation's largest event held in Kaesong. Bagwanhui translates as Festival of the Eight Vows. It began as an event where Buddhists went to temples to observe the 8 Buddhist precepts for a day and a night, and then expanded into a festival to give thanks to the Buddha and the gods of harvest. The remaining Buddhist temples in Kaesong are Anhwasa Temple, Kwanumsa Temple, Daehungsa Temple, and Yongtongsa Temple. In particular, Kwanumsa Temple, which is adjacent to Pakyeon Waterfall, has been a popular attraction for many visitors since ancient times. Daehungsengsong Fortress, which contains Pakyeong Waterfall and the Kwanumsa and Daehungsa temples, also houses cultural relics and designated national treasures. Situated at the foot of Okwansan Mountain, the original Yongtongsa Temple was destroyed by a fire in the 16th century, but was rebuilt in 2003 through a joint restoration venture between the northern and southern parts of Korea, making it an especially meaningful site.
Turn vegan? Wow, you've grown up so fast.
The culture of Goryeo shows a deep and inseparable relationship with Buddhism. Compassionate viewers, let's pause to contemplate on our Buddha nature within. We'll return soon and continue to explore Goryeo's shining cultural heritage. Welcome back to Memoirs of Goryeo, Historic Monuments in Kaesong, Part 1 of 2. The Tripitaka Koreana is respected as one of Goryeo's most brilliant cultural and Buddhist heritage. This majestic work consists of engraved Buddhist scriptures on printable wood blocks. The first production started in 1011 and took 77 years until 1087, during which over 6,000 Buddhist scriptures were made into printable wood blocks. In the second production, wood blocks were created, collecting 4,700 scriptures over a period of 10 years. The third production lasted 16 years. Only a small portion of the first and second woodblock scriptures have survived. Fortunately, the third woodblock manuscripts are well preserved. The historical value of the Tripitaka Koreana is described by UNESCO as one of the most important and most complete corpus of Buddhist doctrinal texts in the world. In the Tripitaka Koreana, there are altogether 81,352 wood blocks carved with 6,569 Buddhist scriptures. The Tripitaka Koreana is famous for having a consistent font and almost no typos. It is said that the reason the typefaces are so consistent is that the engravers trained for almost a year to refine all their typefaces and ensure the writing was uniform in shape. About 50,000 people each year participated in the writing, and the number of characters engraved on the sutra was 52,729,000 characters. Ancient writings recall that the engravers bowed to the Buddha 3 times each time they engraved a character. The Tripitaka Koreana is a legacy to humankind that was achieved through the amazing faith, devotion, and deep prayer of the Goryeo people. The efforts of the Goryeo people to record Buddhist scriptures on wood blocks made it possible for them to later be printed with metal type. Produced in 1372 and published in 1377, Jikchi, or Anthology of Great Buddhist Priests' Zen Teaching, the Goryeo dynasty is the history of Goryeo, or Goryeosa. It was composed during the reign of His Majesty King Sejong the Great, who was a vegetarian. During the Goryeo dynasty, Kaesong was an international trading city, trading with the Arabian, Persian, Indian, Thai, Olak Seas, also known as Vietnamese, and the Chinese Song dynasties. Exports were primarily Korean ginseng, paper, matsutake mushrooms, and ceramics, which were exchanged for pepper, spices, and books. Arabian fleets of more than 100 men visited and traded on a large scale, and thousands settled in Kaesong, forming large communities. There are records that the Arabian people invited the king of Goryeo to a mosque and a special banquet. Even with the change of dynasties, Kaesong maintained its position as a center of domestic and foreign commerce. The Merchants Association, called Kaesong Merchants, developed a financial system, creating its own double-entry bookkeeping system, and were the first to introduce currency. They dominated international trade and domestic distribution networks. Kaesong's long and historical reputation in the commercial and financial sector brought the Kaesong Industrial Complex to fruition in 2003. The construction of the Kaesong Industrial Complex was started jointly by the southern and northern parts of Korea. Companies in the south moved in and employed the residents of Kaesong until the end of 2016 in fields such as textiles, clothing, and machinery. It is such a pleasure to learn of the kind, gentle, and understanding culture of the Goryeo people and how they humanely lived in such harmony with each other and the people from the animal kingdom. We look forward to finding out more in the next part of this series.
Even now, at the age of 44, I'm still winning against girls half my age, and that's due to the vegan diet, I'm sure. Christine Vardaros, vegan.
Wise viewers, thank you for your presence today. Join us again on Friday, March 18th for part 2 of Memoirs of Goryeo, Historic Monuments in Kaesong. Coming up next is Shining World Compassion and Courage Award recipient Animal Rebellion, Compelling Governments with Peaceful Civil Disobedience, here on Supreme Master Television. We pray that all nations will one day unite in peace with heaven's blessings.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WAU.